Hello, horror lovers. Welcome to Rainy Horror Stories. In this series, we'll be narrating the most disturbing Let's Not Meet stories from Reddit that will send shivers down your spine. Please subscribe to the channel. Your support is our biggest motivation. Also, let us know in the comments which city you are listening from. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button and press the bell icon so you never miss our latest creepy stories. Now, let's dive into the story. I was about 7 years old when this all began, and my brother was around 10. Our childhood home was a small, cozy place nestled in a quiet, rural West Virginia neighborhood. It was just the three of us most of the time, my brother, my mom, and me, because my dad worked out of town for weeks on construction jobs. That night started like many others, with my brother and me staying up past our bedtime, while my mom, exhausted from the day, had dozed off on the couch. When she woke up, she gently ushered us up the stairs and toward bed. The layout of our house was simple but memorable. At the top of the stairs, turning right would lead directly to my parents' bedroom. A left turn would place you in the hallway that connected the rest of the second floor. My brother's room was at the far end of the hall, and my room was on the opposite side, across from the bathroom. Each end of the hallway had a door with windows, which led to outdoor areas we rarely used. My door opened onto a small balcony that overlooked the front yard, while the door near my brother's room led to a porch, backing into a small hill. Those doors were always locked, and we hardly ever thought about them. It was common for my mom and brother to wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. I knew this because I was a light sleeper, and their habit of flushing with the bathroom door open never failed to stir me from my sleep. But something was different about this particular night. After getting ready for bed, my brother paused in front of the bathroom, a concerned look on his face. "I am going to try to use the bathroom now," he said, hesitating before he continued. "The past few nights, I have been too scared to go in the middle of the night. I keep seeing a man wearing stripes at the end of the hallway." He said it so casually, as if it was something that had been bothering him for a while. My heart skipped a beat when I heard this. I do not know if my mom was too tired to process what he said, or if she thought he was just trying to scare me with ghost stories, but she did not react at all. She just nodded, muttered something about going to bed, and left it at that. But I was terrified. The thought of a strange man standing in the hallway, or worse, peering through one of those glass doors, haunted me. From that night on, I started sprinting from the stairs to my room every night, terrified of what, or who, might be lurking in the shadows. Years passed, and that eerie experience gradually faded into the background of my mind. By the time I was 18, it had become a distant childhood memory. Then one day, while driving in the car with my mom, something she said brought it all rushing back. We were chatting about a dog we had for a short time when I was little. His name was Max, and he had a notorious habit of chewing up my shoes and getting into trouble. My mom laughed as she remembered his antics. Then, out of the blue, she said, "Do you remember the time I let the cops into the house, and Max ran into the kitchen and started tearing open that giant bag of dog food?" I blinked in confusion. What cops? We had never called the police in all the years I lived in that house. We were a quiet family, gun owners, living in a safe neighborhood. I could not recall any incident involving the police. Seeing the bewilderment on my face, my mom seemed equally surprised. It was as if she had unintentionally revealed a secret she had been keeping for years. "Oh, right. I never told you about that because you were too young at the time. The call grew quiet as she collected her thoughts. One night, she began, I woke up to a strange noise outside my bedroom window. When I looked out, there was a man staring into the window. My stomach churned as she continued to describe how, in a panic, she turned on the lights, causing the man to flee. She grabbed my dad's pistol and immediately called the police. I cannot remember all the details, but I gave them a description. He was a tall white male, wearing a striped shirt and jeans, dark hair, I think. Anyway, the cops said he matched the description of a man who had recently escaped from jail. They were looking for him in the area. I felt a chill creep down my spine. A man matching that description, tall, wearing stripes. The memories of my brother's late-night confession rushed back. The man in the hallway. The man my brother had been seeing night after night, afraid to go to the bathroom because of it. Could it be? Could that have been the same man? At the time, I did not piece the two stories together. Maybe I was too young to fully comprehend the implications. But as I sat there, listening to my mom's story, the pieces started to fall into place. My brother had seen something very real, something much worse than a ghost. He had seen a murderer, a dangerous fugitive who had been casing our house for days. For years, I had written off my brother's sighting as nothing more than a child's overactive imagination. But now, in my mid-twenties, I realized that my brother had unknowingly warned us about a man who had been lurking around our home, possibly planning something far more sinister. He had been there, night after night, watching us from the shadows, while we had no idea. The more I thought about it, the more unsettled I became. My brother had described seeing the man in the hallway near one of those window doors. Those doors, the ones we kept locked and rarely used, suddenly felt far more significant. What if the man had been trying to get inside? What if he had been standing at one of those doors, looking for a way in? The thought of it made my skin crawl. I wondered how close we had come to something truly terrible happening. If my mom had not woken up that night, would the man have tried to break in? Would we have been in danger? It was terrifying to consider, but I could not stop thinking about it. Looking back now, I am grateful that nothing worse happened. The man was eventually caught, though I never learned all the details of his capture. My mom never talked much about it after that one conversation. Perhaps she did not want to scare me, or maybe she just wanted to put it all behind her. Either way, the story left a lasting impression on me. My brother, who had been so afraid of the man in the hallway, never mentioned it again after that night. I sometimes wonder if he remembers the figure he saw, or if he, like me, has pushed the memory to the back of his mind, too unsettling to dwell on. I never told him what I later learned about the escaped murderer, and I do not know if he ever connected the dots. Maybe it is better that way. Some things are better left forgotten, buried in the past where they cannot haunt us anymore. But I will never forget the way my stomach twisted in fear when I realized the truth. The ghost my brother saw was no ghost at all. It was something far worse. It was a living, breathing man. A man who had escaped from jail on a murder charge and had been standing just outside our home, watching us, night after night. What would you do if you realized someone had been watching your family, possibly planning something sinister? How would you handle such a chilling revelation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.